Oh, we're live. I'm sorry. Well, good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever. I'm looking and I'm like, well, is it live? And I didn't even see the countdown. But I want to say good morning to everyone as you enter the room. Thank you for being here today. My name is Leslie Montgomery, and this is LKM Kingdom Living, Leslie's Lessons Learned. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to share with you today what we have to share. Uh, you know, I got to pull my mirror out. You know what? When I was a little girl, something sidebar. When I was a little girl, I always dreamed of having my initials on something. Always dreamt of it. And so when it came time to make the logo and stuff and LKM, I was like, I want to use LKM. And I remember the first briefcase I got. I had asked my aunt and uncle for a briefcase, and they bought me a briefcase. I don't know how old. I was like a teenager maybe, and it had my initials on it. And I always dreamed of having not just my initial on something, but I want to have a business with my initials. I just love my initials for some crazy reason, but that's a sidebar. I just thought about it when I was saying LKM. I just love saying that. So I have my mirror and I'm looking in my mirror and I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful that I still have an opportunity to make this day better, maybe than I did yesterday. I still have an opportunity to get it right with the Father. You know, I still have an opportunity when I look in the mirror. First of all, if I'm able to say, it's life worth living, I can't say it without the breath of Him. So, is life worth living? If you have breath in your body, which is a gift, and if you feel as though you have something maybe not to offer, I want you to know today you have plenty to offer. And the reason why you're here is because nothing you have not completed your assignment. And once you complete your assignment, then things will begin to turn around. Not even when you begin to recognize you have an assignment. And the assignment might not look like someone else's assignment. It might not seem great like someone else's assignment, but most of all, it is still your assignment. So, whatever your assignment is, get up, dust yourself off. I start saying, get your dusty self off. Get up, dust yourself off, and get to working, get to doing something other than feeling sorry for yourself. We all have moments. I can be honest. We all have moments when we're not sure if what we're doing is valuable. We're not sure if we fit in. We're not sure if what we have to offer someone really needs it. We all have times, but I want you to know that you was created with a purpose, and with that purpose comes a destiny. It was a part of His plan for you to be all that He called you to be and to do all that He called you to do so that you can have all that you're supposed to have. Now, when you think about it, a lot of times the issue is not that. Um, the issue is that we're living for evidence. We want to see things, and I'm not saying that's wrong. But sometimes He's working behind the scenes and you're not seeing it yet. And because you're not seeing it, you think that you have nothing to offer. You think that what you do, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it, but they might not be able to do it like you do it. We think that in the process of it, that it's hopeless. You're not hopeless. The Father never made us out of hopelessness. He never created something and said, that's hopeless. He created it and said, it's good. So embrace who you are, embrace yourself. And once again, good morning. Thank you for being here. I have a video, but let's say what I like for us to say every Sunday. I can't go without that. And it is, a life without me is like a world without color. A life without me is like a world without color. So, you know what that means? We are valuable and we do have something to offer. All right, Minister Wanda, come on through and tell us who you are, what you're doing.
It's a good morning. I'm just thinking about that colorless world without me, right?
Right.
How colorless this world would be without me. That's so amazing. I love that statement. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening in some parts of the world. My name is Wanda L. Floyd. I am the CEO. I am the owner of WLF Academy and the Brains and Beauty Business Academy, where we teach beauty industry professionals how to do business better. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I've been licensed for over 30 years. I am now a beauty industry educator where I work in the beauty industry and educate our up and coming students that will be a part of the beauty industry, cosmetologists and barbers. I'm really excited about that. I've recently earned my degree in business.
Yay.
And I am looking forward to doing some things spectacular in the world. I actually have an idea that I am beginning to work on that we will see in some upcoming months that are going to empower you. And so I want you to stay tuned and look forward to that. But this morning, I'm just happy to be here so we can talk about and tell you how valuable you are. Just listen.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was a powerful introduction right there. You better go ahead with your bad self. That's all I gotta say. We thank you so much, Minister Wanda, and every week everybody looks forward to hearing from you because you have so much valuable information to give, and I just appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule at 6 a.m. in the morning to be here with us.
Well, I couldn't have anything to say if you weren't here, Miss Leslie. So
Oh.
look, you have tons of information to share, and I would have nothing to pull from if you didn't speak. So I thank you for showing up every week and allowing Yahweh to use you to change lives. That isn't that what we say? With life-changing tips, Leslie's lessons learned is changing lives, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Well, Yahweh be praised. That's all I can say. That's beautiful. And you do, you look very beautiful today. I love the earrings, the bun. Hey, you got it going on. I just want to encourage you and let you know how beautiful you are. Hey, my both daughters are on, Adrian and Ashley. Good morning. Good morning, Pastor Jack. Yeah. Alfreda, I see you. I see you in the house. And Sister Michelle, thank you so much for being here this morning. And anybody else that comes on, thank you for being here. So, let me show the little clip before I get to running off my mouth.
You think your enemies hate you? They actually admire you. You will never be persecuted by anybody doing better than you. Can I tell you, your enemies know more about you than you do. You walking around here talking about, I'm nothing, I'm just barely making it, I ain't nobody, and your enemies know you somebody. I'm gonna say it again. You will never be persecuted by anybody who's doing better than you. Anybody who's doing better than you don't have time to step on you. Anybody who's doing better than you is trying to handle their business. Anybody who's doing better than you is trying to figure out how to do better. Anybody who's crucifying you is somebody who has to bring you down so they can go up. Your enemies admire you. Problem is you don't agree with them. So next time your enemies come and say, you think you all that? I agree. I absolutely agree. I've been trying to hold it in my whole life, but I absolutely agree. You think your enemy.
I almost could play that again. I think that's
You
real.
know, I needed that this morning.
I said, oh, this is for Wanda.
I needed that this morning. That put the biggest arch in my back and smile on my face. I almost said play it again because
I'm about ready to, because I can it just chills. I'm feeling it. So I'm gonna play it again because I like it. I think I gotta go from here. It was worth listening to. And listen, if you don't know who you are, if you don't understand your value, listen to this again.
Hate you. They actually admire you. You will never be persecuted by anybody doing better than you. Can I tell you, your enemies know more about you than you do. You walking around here talking about, I'm nothing, I'm just barely making it, I ain't nobody, and your enemies know you somebody. I'm gonna say it again. You will never be persecuted by anybody who's doing better than you. Anybody who's doing better than you don't have time to step on you. Anybody who's doing better than you is trying to handle their business. Anybody who's doing better than you is trying to figure out how to do better. Anybody who's crucifying you is somebody who has to bring you down so they can go up. Your enemies admire you. Problem is you don't agree with them. So next time your enemies come and say, you think you all that? I agree. I absolutely agree. I've been trying to hold it in my whole life, but I absolutely agree. You think your enemies hate you?
So I love the part where he said, your enemies ain't got time. I mean, the person that's about their business don't have time to be worried about what you're doing, in so many words. They don't have time to be trying to put you down. And the most important thing he said is that they really admire you. They admire you. And the only reason why they're trying to bring you down because they're trying to get up. So that's almost like crabs. Crabs is always trying to bring somebody down. And, when I think about that, just think about what he said. People that are busy about their father's business, I'm going to say, and not worried about yours, does not have time to either worry about what you're doing and what you're going through because they're trying to get their own. What's that? What's that saying? I'm about my business, trying to make it myself. We don't really have time to criticize people or bring people down, man. When you really think about it and how we have to be building the kingdom, and in the process of building the kingdom, the only thing you got time for is to stay in Elohim's face, which some call God, to get instructions, to find out what your next move is. That's the problem. Most times we're blinded. We don't see the next move. We don't know we have a next move. And then we want to blame somebody else. That's because of so-and-so. And then we start attacking them. In actuality, where you are in life has nothing to do with anybody else. Why? It's a free choice. You could even stay in that crab mentality and worry about what somebody else is doing or trying to bring somebody else down, or you can come out that bowl, that crab bowl, come outside that box and live life more abundantly. Abundant life don't have time to tear down because you're so much enjoying life, enjoying what Yahweh is doing for you, that you don't have time to tear anybody else down. I think that was so powerful just to realize, and I'm talking to men and girls. I'm going to say girl, I'm going to say guys. They only hate what they see. And that's because you're moving forward. And they can't stop you. So because they can't stop you, they got to try to bring you down. But I want you to know today that you are so valuable to the kingdom and to the people in the kingdom and those that are around you in your society and your family. You are so valuable. You don't have time to worry about that crab that's trying to bring you down. Life is too important, but we do get stuck on that because we don't want people to see us that way. That's not really who we are. Well, if it's not who you are, keep being who you are. Don't worry about that. Long as you live, each and every one of us, somebody's going to target us. It's a part of the plan to either help you grow or stay stuck. So I didn't know. Well, go ahead. You really like that video.
I love
You got
that
some
video.
good tips.
Listen, I love that video. I was over here just jotting things down because he said some powerful things. The first thing I think about is if nobody is bothering you, if nobody is giving you a hard time, then sometimes, just like in our lives, they used to say, if nothing is bothering you, then the devil ain't worried about you. They used to tell
I
you
forgot
ain't got
about
no trials and tribulations, baby. The devil ain't worried about you, right? And I loved it when he said, "Your enemies know more about you than you do." When somebody tells you you're great at this, you're great at that, and then you always shoot that down. That's because your enemies are sitting there because they ain't got nothing to do. They like he said, people that are busy, that are trying to accomplish things, that are focused on being successful, that are working on things, baby, they too busy working to be worried about you. They over here trying to make things happen. They got their hands in this and their hands in this, and they've got their visions over here and goals over there, and they got teams working, and they're trying to accomplish life and make things happen because they don't have time to waste, because they have a destiny and a purpose, and they are working that purpose and that destiny. Baby, I ain't got time to be worried about what you doing over there. And the person that is focused on you is focused on you because they don't have a life. And so they're sitting there studying and watching you. And like he said, on the under, they really are envying you. They're jealous of you. They really admire you and wonder how they're doing that and why can't I do that. Anytime anybody is fixated on you, they're pressed about you, baby, you doing something right. You're
yeah,
doing something right.
yeah.
And love how he said, well, they really admire you, but they wouldn't
I'm not
never
going to tell you that.
they admire you, because they really do. Some of us have excelled through some of the most egregious situations and times in our lives, and somehow with the help of Yahweh we have been able to make it through. And they are sitting there because it's really not them, it's the enemy using them, and they're sitting there and the enemy is wondering, how is she still making it? How is he still getting up every day? Now, I just talked about them bad. I just did this. How are they still pressing and getting up? That person that gives you hell at your job, why do they keep showing up every day and they keep smiling at me and they still being nice to me? It's because of what Yahweh put on the inside of me. They want you to give up. Why are they still here? Why are they still in the way? Why are they still persevering? Why are they still determined? Because this ain't about you. It's about fulfilling the purpose and the plan of my life. And because of who works on the inside of me, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So baby, I ain't got time.
So let me stop you for a minute, because the purpose, they don't care about the purpose. They care about the destiny.
Right.
They don't want you to get to that destiny. They don't want you to succeed enough to complete your assignment.
So they aren't concerned about the purpose.
They're concerned about the
destiny. About the destiny, the end result. They don't want you to get to the end.
Yeah. So let's look for a moment at Yeshua, Jesus.
Okay.
40 days, 40 nights fasting. And at the end of it, it says the enemy came to, I'm going to say, antagonize him. And when he couldn't, he was like, man, and he went on about his business. One thing about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at this morning, when you don't pay attention to it and you feed it with the word, there's nothing they can do but back up.
That's good.
When he said he left the sight of Yeshua, it
Mm-hmm.
said the angel swooped in
Mm-hmm.
and ministered to him.
Mm-hmm.
There is a place that we have to get to when that happens and allow Yeshua or Yahweh, oh, I got to sneeze, to come in
Mm-hmm.
and allow. It's almost like the angels wait to minister.
Yes.
When he was in the garden and he said, not my will, but thy will be done. The angels came and ministered to him. Can I tell you today we have to make some decisions? We have to decide to want to not be concerned with that. Put the word on it, saturate it with the word, and allow Yahweh to release his angels to minister. Those ministering angels come when we make a decision to not give in to what the enemy is trying to give you.
So what I'm hearing you say is the first temptation when the enemy came to him, he gave him nothing but the word. And when he was finished, then he was refreshed and replenished and ministered to, you said, by the angels. And in the garden, the same thing. And so what I'm hearing is we have to put Yahweh first. In all things, we have to give it to him. Give it to him. And when we give it to him, he will come in and he will minister to us. I like that.
So I hadn't planned to go here, but I'm going to just read Matthew's 4, starting at 4. Really could read the whole thing, I promise you. I'm not going to read the whole thing, though. But let me start at 1. Then was Yeshua, Jesus, led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. There was a purpose. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards a hunger. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, we know that's Adonai, command these stones to be made bread. Oh, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Elohim. Now, this is the bread of life talking. Come on now. He was the bread of life. And he was like, it's written. He didn't do like Adam and Eve or Eve. Eve paid attention and started turning towards what he was saying instead of what the word was saying. So it goes on and it says, then the devil taking him up, this cracks me up, into the high city and set him on a pinnacle of the temple. Of the temple. Y'all hear that, right? Of the temple. Where did he spend his time? So, and said unto him, if thou be the son of Elohim, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, least they dash their foot against the stone. But we know.
Mhm. But what I like about that and what's standing out to me is that he was trying to get him because he really wasn't certain. He said, if you be, right? So he really wasn't certain that this was the son of Elohim. So he's trying to get him to prove himself. You never have to prove who you are to anybody. Just be who you are. He didn't have to prove himself.
And that's a powerful statement,
Mhm.
because society has made us feel like we got to prove ourselves. They have us so um, focused on, we need people to see who we are. We need people to understand what we can do. We need this, we need that to show up properly. But we don't have to do anything. We are the creator's children. So then it says, and Yeshua says unto him, it is written. He kept giving him the word back. Again, thou shalt not tempt uh, Adonai Elohim.
Right there. Don't try to get me to be in my flesh. Don't try to get me to try to prove and show you who I am. I know who I am. Right? I know who I am. I know who's housed in this body. Now, who he's talking to the son of Elohim himself. Don't tempt me. Don't try to get me to be in my flesh to show you and prove to you who I am. I am who I am. That's all you need to know. That's it. How many
So,
times have we been tempted to try to prove who we are? Oh, so you say you're an eloquent speaker, eloquent speaker. You don't have to prove that to nobody.
just keep talking.
Just keep speaking. Right. You know, there's no need to prove anything to anyone. Just do what you do best and do it well. And we see that exemplified right here. Go ahead, keep reading, Miss Leslie.
And it says in 8, again, the devil takes him up into an exceedingly high mountain and shows him all the kingdom of the world. Kingdom of the world.
He took him up another level, took him
And the
high.
glory of them. You see all this?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he says. He says, and said unto him, all these things will be given thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
Now, what does
Like,
worship mean? What does worship really mean?
worship is the word, studying the Torah,
Mm.
studying the word.
And it also means that we obey, right? So what
Mhm.
is he really telling him to do?
Oh, yeah. The same thing he told Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm. All these
Thou,
things will I give you if you will fall down and obey me.
the things of the world,
Come on.
not the things of Elohim. He can't, we already got that. That is our inheritance. But the sidetracking is the things of the world.
But if you don't know that, if you don't know what it says in the word, if you don't know the promises that Yahweh has laid out specifically for you, then he can tempt you with what you see around you, the things of the world. But when you know his word, then he can't get you with the bells and the whistles and the flashy things.
Yeah.
It's all in the word. That's so good.
Then said Yeshua, Jesus, unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written. He kept giving him back the word. See, Eve didn't give him back the word. He's given him back the word. And in the process of giving him back the word, it says This is what I like about this whole thing. First, he's the bread of life. Second, he takes him to a place that he worships anyway. He teaches the temple. Then he takes him to a high mountain to show all the beauty. And to me, he said, "Get thee behind me, Satan, for it's written, thou shalt worship." I believe he began to look around and forgot where he was and began to worship the Father right there. And it says, Adonai Elohim, and him only shall thou serve. He was like, I'm not coming down to your level. So what does it say after that? Then the devil leaves him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. I love that part right there. I love it. Man, he got so caught up in the Father. First of all, he had been with the Father. And when he came to him, they says that we are not ignorant of the devices of Satan. This proves it right here. You got to know your stuff. You got to know the word, and you got to know who you are. Yeshua knew who he was. He knew that the Adonai in him was the word. He knew that the bread of life was a part of his life. And he knew that when he took him to the temple, making him think that he was going to sidetrack him. I just think that everywhere he took him, he just saw the glory. And what we learned, that the glory is in him. He took him to all the place the glory was. After that is when things start changing. The ministry started happening. The first thing is he finds out about his cousin. And then after he finds out about his cousin, I love this right here, excited. And in 17, it says, from that time, after John the Baptist was not able to, he picked up, he said in verse 17, repent, for the kingdom of God. He took up where his cousin left. Oh my God. He was about his father's business, and he said it over and over again. And he always had those around him, those scavengers, those ones that always wanted to bring him down, those ones that, and they were in his camp, you might as well say, because they was a priesthood, priests and all that, the Pharisees and all. So they were in the temple when he was there. They heard him speak. He knew who they were. And they still, because of flesh, man, if we let him keep this up, we ain't gonna have no money. He gonna take all the people.
They were so pressed about what Yeshua was doing. They watched him and followed him everywhere he went. Just like he was saying, somebody that's doing better than you or that's busy doing what they're supposed to do, they ain't got time to worry about you. Had the Sadducees and the Pharisees been doing what they were supposed to be doing, they had jobs, they had positions we'll just say in the kingdom, that they were supposed to be doing, but they were so pressed about Yeshua and what he was doing. Why is he able to do these miracles? It's Sabbath. Now they was really wondering why he was able to do these miracles. Child, we ain't been able to do no miracles. How is he doing these miracles? And so they had to pick apart what he was doing. Y'all doing this on the Sabbath? Why y'all pulling corn on the Sabbath? Y'all not supposed to be doing that. They just had to pick apart everything they were doing.
Because he was a magnet,
right,
for the kingdom.
They're watching him instead of doing what they're supposed to be doing. Exactly what he was doing. Teaching the people Torah, making sure they have the word and they are applying it to their lives. No, they're too busy watching him because he's giving the word. He's teaching the word and the people are coming. Well, baby, if you have been teaching the word and preaching the word, the people would have been coming to you, but they're so worried. They're so worried. And I love that after he was tempted, that's when his ministry began. And right, like you said, where John left off, he picked up.
Repent, for the kingdom of God
It's literally at hand.
is of Elohim.
It's
It's
standing right before
here
you.
before you. The one that you've been hearing about all the time. Here I is.
Here I is.
Here I is.
The prophecies have come to pass. And that's what always amazed me about the Sadducees and the Pharisees and the Levites, is that you know the prophecies. And when the prophecy manifested and is right in your face, you didn't even recognize. You didn't even recognize who he was. He came to his own, and his own received him not. Such a great example, Ms. Leslie, of how we should handle things when the enemy presents himself in our lives to torment, to persecute, to tear you down, to make you think that you're not valuable, you're not worth it, to feed you lies, to take your focus off of what you are doing, because you are making a difference. Whatever it is that you have been designed to do, whether it's on your job, whether you're doing something in the community, whether it's just you with your children, you were designed to do it, and no one can do it like you can. And the enemy will always feed you lies to make you think that, yeah, you're not making a difference. Somebody else could do it. But like Miss Leslie said from the very beginning, yeah, somebody else could do it, but they cannot do it like you can do it. You are very valuable.
Yeah. One of the things I think about is that because we don't know who we are,
Mm-hmm.
we become a live target.
Mm-hmm.
And with us being that target, the enemy loves it. What did he say? To let your enemy know who you are better than you do.
That part. That part. We could stay right there for a minute. They know more about you than you do. They know how much power you possess. They watch and they see, because they're studying. They see what's in you. They see your potential. They see your growth. They see your value. They see how you are making a difference. And instead of celebrating that and encouraging that and pushing you along the way, they really admire it, because they don't have that tenacity, that ability, those gifts on the inside of them. And so the other way to diminish that is to convince you that you're not necessary, to begin to tell you lies. And when we believe the lies,
We do. In Matthew 26, and I want to read this one verse. When they come to arrest Yeshua, and he said, and it says, and let me see, verse 50. And Yeshua said unto them, Friend, wherefore art thou come? What you come for? But he didn't say, he said, Friend.
wow.
Sometimes, an apostle was speaking of this yesterday. Sometimes your friends is in your own camp, your own home, your own family. The people you trust sometimes and believe in will be the same. And this is what I feel. Their purpose is to help us grow. We don't take it that way. But if you can pass the test of not bowing to what they're saying about you, how they have other people looking at you,
Mm-hmm.
and can stay focused, stay on your task,
Mm-hmm.
do what you're supposed to do, they can't do but so much. And the only thing they can really do is antagonize you. If he had a given up, Yeshua had a given up, we would have had a whole different story. And this is from the garden, him being in the garden, and him even asking the disciples, yo, I need you back. I need you to stay here, with me. And they were sleeping.
Mm.
They was getting good sleep. Wonder if it was the Sabbath. They was resting. But sometimes it can hurt
Absolutely.
because it's somebody that is close to you. But when you brush yourself up and get up, understand that there is a greater plan for you. That's just a stepping stone. And we got to step over some stones. We got to go around some logs. We even have to go up some mountains and come down the other side. But it's what you do in the progress. I just saw what I wanted to say about the angels. I don't see it no more. Go ahead.
I knew you were looking for something. I just, it is so heavy on me this morning to remind us how necessary, how needed, how important each and every one of you are. Just like we recite that at the beginning of every program, the world without you, life without you is like a world without color. And I just need us to sit back for a moment and think about this. Because oftentimes we downplay our necessity in the world. We downplay our necessity in the workplace, in the home, and even in our families' lives, and those that we have acquaintances with, and those that are even our friends. We downplay our importance. And I just want you to stop for a moment and think about that. Life without me is like a world without color. You are so necessary. You are so needed. And you are, are so valuable. There really is not even a price tag we can put on you and what you do. Because while I put up a quote the other day that said, humble enough to know that I can be replaced, but confident enough to know that there's no one like me. Of course, I can be replaced. But I tell you what, there was no one, absolutely no one in the earth that can bring my color to the picture. Because when the artist created my color, it was unique. And so, as the master artist, is designing and painting this picture of the world, my color that is added to the picture is unique in its own right. Hear what I'm saying. Your color is unique in its own right, and it cannot be duplicated. It can be imitated. They can do a whole bunch of mixture trying to get your color, but they cannot get your color because the master designed it. And that is the color that you bring to the world. And so, what would that picture be without your unique color? It brings the beauty out of the picture. So, remember how important you are to the completion of that picture. Remember how important you are to the uniqueness of that design. What would that design look like without you? Could they put another color there? Absolutely. But there still will be something missing because there's nobody like you. So never, ever from this day forth, downplay your unique color, the uniqueness of you. Never downplay what you bring every day you wake up. When you walk out of the room, your color just exploded. When you walk in the doors to your job, you just added color. When you show up, when you open your mouth to speak, you just added color. Never ever downplay what you bring because you are valuable, you are unique, and you are necessary. And without you, we would be missing an important piece of the design. Miss Leslie.
Think about that. You have a design. Right in the middle of the design, there's a color missing. That design is not going to look right.
It's not.
And somebody's going to say, oh, I wonder what color was there. I wonder what that color was.
What happened?
Yeah. Did it wash away? What happened? Why? And they might faintly see the color and say, boy, that would have been beautiful. I
And
wonder
then
what-
imagine trying to put something else there. Ah, trying to put something else there to fix it. But you don't know what the color was. So to try to put something else there is going to take away from the perfect design.
So what do people say? I can't get that color right.
Yeah, baby, because your color that you add to the design
Oh.
is unique in its own right.
I read a post today, and I'm trying to remember the whole thing of it. But what it said something like, your past don't need you. Your past is your past. Your present and your future is in need of you. If we're stuck in the past, that's dead.
Mhm.
So we're just in the past. Nothing is productive because the past is the past, it's gone. He who looketh back at the plow, and I know I might be using the little out term, but I'm going to use it right now. He who looketh back at the plow is not worthy. Why? You're stuck in the past. You can't, you're stagnated, you're paralyzed. You can't move forward to do. So think about it. Being a farmer and you're stuck in this thing you did last year and never come up to reproduce this year because of what it didn't do last year. If you're stuck on last year's production or production, it might not produce the same this year.
Mhm.
The atmosphere might be different. The soil might be different.
Mhm.
The weather might be different. So while you're thinking about what happened last year, and they tell us life is passing us by, I want us to move from the past. I
Mhm.
thought when you was talking about, I thought about how a lot of things that I'm stuck in is because of my past.
Yeah.
Growing up
Mhm.
a certain way,
Mhm.
tragedies, traumas, all that is a part of who I am today. Why? Because I did not learn how to filter it,
Wow.
how to not live in what was. Why? Because I was broken there. I was I was what you call it, at a place that I couldn't go any further. So how many people are grown but still acting where they left
Yeah.
going?
Yeah. 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 That's good.
We have to understand that our past is the past. And yes, some of us have had some extreme past, but it was all a part of the purpose of developing in us, growing and maturing. It becomes experience, it becomes something that you can take and teach someone else how not to get stuck there.
Absolutely.
The purpose is for you to come through it, not stay in it. We can't stay any longer in things that used to be, the one once was, because we felt like that was the best place in our lives and you don't want to go any further. So many different reasons.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Because sometimes it's not that it was just bad, but that was just for you. It was the best time, and so you just want to stay there. Well, no, we have to grow, and we have to use that to catapult us into where we need to be in life. Like you talked about that destiny. And so if we stay in the past, it hinders the present and the future. We can't afford to stay in the past. It's detrimental to us.
This comes to mind. If I'm going to use Moses as an illustration, and we talked about him, we talked about Pharaoh. If Pharaoh was not worried, he was worried about his destiny.
Hmm.
He was worried about where Moses was going. And that's what he wanted to stop.
Hmm.
Where was he about? Where was he going to be? He was going to be a king, a deliverer. And that could not happen. Yeshua had to hide because they was worried about his destiny. Your destiny is so valuable and important. It's your destiny that completes the cycle, not of life, but of that purpose. And if you ever get to that point where you realize how important you are. So there's people that's going to help you. Look, Moses' mother, her family, they helped him to maneuver around that. Yeshua's parents helped him
Mhm.
around that. Don't ever think that you're an island by yourself, or you have to do this by yourself. There are people that are assigned to help get you to your destiny.
You just
So
got to get to the destiny.
that's the completion of the assignment.
That's right. And you can't let naysayers, you can't let,
They're your builders.
yeah,
They build you.
absolutely. You can't even let yourself, because sometimes that one that's doing all the talking is you yourself.
Yes, for sure. I do it a lot.
I do it as well.
Yes. And if you don't get out your own way, you can stagnate your way.
Absolutely.
And how? Fear, lack of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
a surety,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
When we allow those things to happen and know we are human. We had those times. But what do we do? Do we stay there? Or do we get into the word, allow the word to build us so we can come out of that place? It takes the word, it takes a covenant with the Father. You got to have a covenant. I could read this word with no covenant. I'm going to stay right where I'm at. You got to have a covenant along with the Torah. So that's all I have for now. I don't know if you want to say anything.
Just know you're valuable. If we don't come away with anything else, just know you're valuable and cherish the uniqueness of your color and what it adds to the overall design of the world. Cherish that, polish it, take care of it, make it shine because there's nobody like you. And never let anybody diminish that. You yourself, do not diminish that. When they say you're beautiful, say thank you. When they say that was wonderful, I like what you did. Don't, oh no, it is. Thank you. I worked really hard. Accept it. Agree
It's a
with it.
process.
Yes, agree with it. It's not going to be easy in the beginning because we think the humble thing to do is downplay it. No, if you hadn't have done it, could they have gotten somebody else to do it? Yep. But it wouldn't have had your color added to it. I just need you to understand how valuable that color is that you have. That just hit me like a brick this morning. Life without you is like a world without color, and just understanding the uniqueness of your color.
So we both have on blue today, but it's different. I have on a lighter blue. You have on and my shell is this blue, but it's probably not the same color as your blue.
Mhm. Mine is more of a
It's
royal blue, cobalt
just
blue. Yeah.
just like black.
Mhm.
It's hard to match blacks up.
That is exactly correct. That is so correct. It is so hard to match blacks if you didn't get them from the same set, like a suit set where you got the jacket and the pants were made. But if you try to put that jacket with a different pant from another company, the blacks are different.
They're different. They don't match.
They do not
They
match.
don't. No, 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 no. They don't blend in.
Right. You know what? It because I'm a hairstylist, and we use a lot of color. So when we're learning color, one of the ways to learn color is actually to get like watercolors and paints and mix colors together so we can understand color theory. If any of you have a little paint, like a little watercolor set or something, if not, I encourage you this week, because I sometimes we got to visualize that thing. I encourage you this week to just go to the dollar store or go to Hobby Lobby or something like that and get a little paint set they have with the white or the red, blue, green colors on there. And then just start taking a little bit of each color and begin to make colors. And I guarantee you, when you put a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then go try to duplicate that, you won't be able to duplicate it. That's just how you are. That's the exercise we want y'all to do this week. Do that. Try it. I promise you, if you put a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that, even if you write out, I put this color, that color, this color, that color, you still won't be able to duplicate it. You should not be able to duplicate it. And that's how you are. Unique. You can be imitated. I can mix more colors and try to imitate the color that I made, but I can guarantee you I won't duplicate it. I used to tell people that all the time when I was doing hair. They'd bring me a picture and I'd be like, I didn't do that, but I can come as close to it as possible. Or if I did a hairstyle, can you do what you did last time? I can't duplicate that because it's unique in its own right. It was for at that moment, but I can come as close to it as possible. That's how important and valuable you are.
Love
Remember
it.
that.
Love it. Well, we're at the top of the hour. Thank you so much, Minister Wanda. And as I'm looking at her, isn't she beautiful? She is beautiful in her own right. I'm looking at the earrings and just how well she is put together. But she's not just put together on the outside. We all have work on the inside, but she is faithful to her father, and she loves him without a shadow of a doubt. And that's the strength that each and every one of us need. I thank you for representing your father well. You look beautiful. And I thank you for being here. I thank each and every one of you for being here. I thank you for what you do for the kingdom and how well you represent it. Don't let anybody steal you of the value that you have in the kingdom. Don't let anybody take that from you. And if you have not hit the like sign, subscribe, or shared yet, please do so as we're closing out. We want you to know that yes, you can never be a duplicated. And that's what I was just going to say. We want you to know that it's only one of you. You might have a look-alike out there, but it's something different about that look-alike. That look-alike can never be you. They have stem cells. They're doing where they're cloning people, but that person that they're cloning will never be you. Won't even have your fingerprints. So remember that you are beautiful. Remember that you are valuable. Remember that you have a purpose with a destiny. And remember, your enemy might be your hater, but it's only because he knows where you're going. Keep going. Hold your head up. Hold your head up and don't look back. If you look back, you're only looking back to see where you came from, to see what you've learned back there, not to stay back there. We are conquerors. We are victorious. And that means we just got to keep moving. The battle is not ours. We keep trying to fight this battle, but it's not ours. It's Yahweh's. So until we meet again, this what day is it? Thursday. I will have the CEO of your household, CEO of multi-generational homes on. And they're going to show you how to collaborate, bring important things together, and how to have an effective generational household. So until we meet you again next Sunday, Minister Wanda and I have an amazing week and know we love you. God bless.
Shalom.